Lena is a passionate baker who blames the owner of the big bad chain store, Jonah, for her business losses. Little does she know that she has secretly been texting him through an app meant to set up their friends, Ava and Walker. Lena wakes up early and starts baking cinnamon rolls. She gets juice for her friend Ava, who is sleeping on the couch and recovering from a bad breakup 2 months ago. Ava feels too lovesick to go back to her normal routine, so Lena suggests she needs to start dating again. Lena reminds Ava that she is bubbly and will be back to her normal self soon enough. Lena is already ready to head out for work and looks around the street with the tray of cinnamon rolls in her hand. She bumps into someone right across from her cafe, who apologizes immediately. The man offers to help, but her cinnamon rolls are ruined. Lena informs him that she works across the street at Kismet Cafe, and he introduces himself as Jonah. Lena is running late, so she leaves and starts getting ready to open. Jonah is opening a Vic store right across the street from Lena's cafe, and his friend Walker goes through the formalities before the grand opening the next day. Walker reminds Jonah that their Vic store is opening in Highland Park, where people will soon line up to protest the big bad chain store. Jonah is not too worried, since he knows people will soon warm up to them. Lena welcomes Ava into the cafe and makes her taste the scone of the day, which is coconut lavender. Ava is impressed by how talented Lena is. She has also perfected their new coffee. Lena still feels she's not good enough, since she can't convince Ava to go on a date. Ava doesn't know where to start, and Lena suggests some dating apps which provide matches based on proximity. Lena herself refuses to date, since she is focusing on the business, and aims to sell her baked goods in stores before she can allow a man into her life. Some customers come in, and Lena greets them warmly. Ava and Lena go through guys on the app, but can't find anyone decent. When Ava has given up and gives Lena her phone, Lena finds a guy she thinks is cute, and has all the same interests as Ava. She shows Ava his profile and all his hobbies. It's the same Walker from across the street, who loves the same band Ava does. Lena knows this guy is perfect for Ava, but is too afraid to text him. Ava knows she's not good at messaging, and wants Lena to start a conversation. Lena doesn't feel right doing it, but agrees to start off with liking his profile. Walker gets a notification, and declares he is in love with a woman he has never met. He shows Jonah a picture of Ava's profile, and is excited about her. Walker is just out of a long-term relationship, and doesn't know how dating works. He asks Jonah to help him with the messages, since he wants to make a good impression. Jonah asks Walker about his favorite song, from the band Midnight Park. Walker feels Avenue of Dreams is the best, but knows Holidays is more popular. Jonah knows what to say, so he opens with an icebreaker asking Ava to choose between the two songs. Jonah feels work is his date, and he cannot focus on a woman right now. But Jonah promises to get Walker a date through the messages. Ava hands her phone to Lena to reply to Walker's message about the favorite band. While Lena thinks it is a great first message, Ava would have preferred a simple text. Ava wants Lena to reply, since she has no idea how to take this forward. Lena agrees to send only the initial messages, to not make it too weird. Lena sends a clever reply, and is proud of it. They come across Jonah's Vic store, and Ava feels this will be a nightmare for their business. Lena tries to be more optimistic, and insists they have better quality and customer service. Walker is tired, since he can't keep up with Jonah and his workout routine. He gets another message from Ava and hands his phone to Jonah. He reminds Jonah that he promised to get him a date before he takes over. Jonah replies again, as Walker, and asks Ava what she likes. Lena is baking and gets a notification from Ava's phone. After this, Lena and Jonah completely take over Ava and Walker's phones and start texting each other. Lena replies that she has always been a fan of the underdog, and shares an incident where she started a club in school to help someone who was getting bullied. Jonah insists he was one of the guys who got picked on, and wishes she was there with him in school. Lena is in the flow, and replies with a picture of the cookies she is baking. When Ava asks about the messaging, Lena admits to the slip-up where she texted about baking, but promises there won't be any more. Jonah is passing by Kismet Cafe when Lena spots him and invites him in for a latte workshop. Jonah agrees to come in and starts learning from her, but fails miserably. Lena guides his hand and helps him make something. Jonah is impressed with the place, and Lena insists it is just the beginning of her main goal of opening her business soon. Lena is about to finish up when Jonah is still trying to perfect the art. He asks her about any coffee beans she would recommend, and she starts talking about the Vic around the corner, which is driven by discounts, and might affect her business. She insists her cafe is about connecting with people, and the goods she bakes herself. Lena still seems worried, but apologizes for ranting. The Vic store has opened, and Lena looks over in anger. She is nervous, so she heads out for some fresh air. She is glad to bump into Jonah, and asks him about the coffee beans. He loves them, and promises to come for more. He goes ahead of her and starts giving an interview outside the Vic store. This is when Lena realizes he owns the Vic branch, and accuses him of spying on her. Lena is offended, since she felt he was charming, when he was just lying. Jonah is clear that he didn't mean to lie, and came to the workshop since it seemed fun. Lena still feels like what he does is affecting small businesses and pulling communities apart. Ava is concerned about Lena, who is furious after her meeting with Jonah. She feels he is heartless for someone their age, even if Ava seems impressed by him owning a branch. Lena still feels she needs to prove him wrong by making sure her business thrives. Walker is excited about their opening day being a huge success, but Jonah feels very low and guilty about his interaction with Lena. While Ava is sleeping, Lena texts Walker from her phone. Walker has left his phone with Jonah and gets the text from her sharing that she had a bad day. Jonah pretends to be Walker again and discusses his day and how he hurt someone. Lena asks him for business advice and stops herself right before she gives away too many details. Lena is buying board games in a toy store when she spots Jonah lurking nearby. Jonah insists he is just buying a present for his nephew. Lena informs him about board game night at the shop, after he offers to help with the games. Jonah feels board games are not good for business, since people being excited for games doesn't mean more sales for her food. Lena feels this is more to attract customers and make them feel a sense of community. Jonah doesn't want to argue, so he agrees with her. She warms up a little to him and asks about his nephew, since she loves kids. Jonah shows her a picture and confesses he's not sure of what to get. Jonah wanted to be a superhero at his age and catch bad guys. Lena jokes about him being the bad guy now, but realizes that was too mean. Jonah feels bad too and insists he is just doing his job and didn't mean to ruin anything for her. Lena knows this is an uncomfortable situation and goes to pay for the games. Jonah offers to buy them from the Vic's credit card as a friendly gesture, which offends Lena more. But before leaving, she tells Jonah about a kid who comes to her shop and loves his superhero cape. Jonah loves the idea and thanks her. On a walk with Lena, Ava checks the messages and wonders when Lena wrote all that. Lena apologizes for getting caught up in the moment and seeking advice from a stranger. Ava asks if Lena is interested in dating this guy, since she cannot connect to any of the messages. Lena dismisses that thought and just wants Ava to find someone good for her. When Ava asks if Lena is trying to find love through her, Lena insists she needs to focus on the shop. Ava agrees to go on a date and gives her phone to Lena to ask Walker out. Walker and Jonah are out for a jog when Walker confesses that he doesn't feel anything after reading the messages. Walker then gets a message from Ava asking him out the next day. It is board games night at Kismet Cafe, and while Lena is excited, Ava informs her that even if a lot of people have come, no one has ordered more than one coffee for hours. Lena tries to be optimistic and hopes for the best. Jonah comes with his nephew in a superhero cape and introduces him to Lena, who wishes him a happy birthday and compliments it. Jonah explains that his nephew was very excited to hear about games night and wanted to spend his birthday here. Ava asks about Jonah, surprised Lena didn't mention how cute he is. Lena still feels he's their competition, but Ava points out that he has given them the most business by ordering a lot of desserts. Jonah is ready to head out with his nephew, but thanks Lena before leaving. Lena is checking their sales with Ava and comments on how they have dropped significantly. Jonah is still feeling guilty, but gets excited, since it is almost time for Walker's date. Walker feels nervous since he cannot relate to anything in those text messages. Jonah convinces him to give Ava a try and see if it works out for him after he meets her. He asks Jonah to walk with him, but still feels nervous. Jonah agrees to look at the window to check if Ava is there for Walker. Jonah spots Ava looking exactly like her pictures and asks Walker to head inside. Walker asks him to wait at the bar just in case. As Walker greets Ava, Jonah notices Lena sitting by the bar too. He asks for Lena's permission to sit next to her, but she keeps pretending to read while watching Ava and Walker. Jonah comments on how no one reads gossip magazines anymore, and Lena confesses that she's not actually reading, but trying to spy on her friend on her first date. Jonah is surprised by how small the world is, and explains that he has come with Walker for moral support. Lena looks at Walker lovingly and talks about how kind and funny he seems. Jonah asks how she knows so much, but she reveals she knows through Ava. Lena also admits Jonah was right about games night, since they didn't do well. Jonah is genuinely sorry, but admits he had a great time with his nephew. Ava and Walker are having a great time, and discuss how relieved they are on their first date through a dating app. Walker admits her profile stood out to him since they have common interests. Ava admits she is looking for the same thing. Walker expresses his love for traveling, and Ava asks about where all he has been. Lena notes how invested Walker and Ava seem to be, and Jonah admits she's easy to talk to. When Lena asks how he knows that, he explains that he, too, has read some messages. The waiter comes up to ask for their order, and Jonah is surprised when Lena orders exactly what he wanted. Jonah and Lena discuss being vegetarian, and Lena describes this sanctuary for rescued farm animals she visits, since she is in love with a certain pig, Bella. Jonah knows it, Green Meadows, where he also visits every Thanksgiving, to rescue turkeys and meet Bella. Jonah admits he always wanted a pig as a pet, but with working full-time, he didn't want to neglect it. Walker and Ava are enjoying talking to each other when the waiter asks them for their order. Walker confesses that he's not a vegetarian and loves meat. Ava is relieved to hear that, since vegetarianism is not for her either. They make fun of the soy and mushroom burger and decide to head out to Walker's favorite street meat vendor. Jonah notices that Ava and Walker are leaving, but they're also smiling. Lena knows they must have decided to eat somewhere else, since Ava is very picky. Jonah admits Walker is the same, and is probably taking her to a steak place. Lena loves this vegetarian place, and Jonah decides to stay and eat there too, since they already ordered. When Jonah points out their entertainment has left, Lena picks up the gossip magazine again, and starts giving him all the juicy gossip. Lena is forced to admit spending time with him isn't that bad. He walks her home, and Lena admits it was fun with him. Jonah apologizes for their paths crossing all the time, and hopes she will get used to running into him. They almost come close as if to kiss, but Lena gets nervous and decides to leave. Lena teases Ava about coming home late, and is happy to learn she had a great time. Ava is surprised, since she was expecting someone more like Lena based on the messages. Ava reveals that they did a lot of spontaneous things, like meeting Walker's friends, which Lena wouldn't have done, since she likes to get to know the person quietly on the first date. Ava enjoyed her time with Walker and has planned to meet him again, but checks if it is okay with Lena, since she felt a spark with him on the messages. Lena assures her that it was just some texts, and she is very happy that Ava hit it off with him. Lena then informs Ava that she ran into Jonah, who is best friends with Walker. Ava is surprised to hear that, and asks Lena if she likes Jonah. Lena immediately denies it, and reminds Ava that he is their competition, and the reason for her stress with the business. Ava feels like Jonah might be responsible for some things indirectly, but they have a lot in common. Walker meets Jonah at the bar and reveals he had a great time, and has already planned something with Ava. Jonah is happy for him, and wants to know what Ava was like. Walker knows Jonah felt something for on the messages, but he feels like Ava is the one for him. Jonah denies any feelings, and assures Walker that it was just some messages. At the cafe, Lena checks her sales and realizes it is very bad for her. The next day, Lena and Jonah run into each other at Green Meadows, where Jonah has come with coffee for volunteering, and Lena has brought some of her famous scones in different flavors. She offers one to Jonah, who is amazed by how delicious it is. Lena admits she creates different flavors on her own. They spot Eugene and Winnie, and offer to volunteer. They assume Jonah and Lena are together, which they clearly deny, and get ready to work. Lena picks up a goat, and Jonah happily plays with it too. They prepare to meet their favorite, Bella. On the way, Lena comes across daffodils, and informs Jonah that she loves them. Jonah asks about her shop, and Lena has to admit she will have to shut her shop soon. Jonah is very supportive, and feels like she will figure something out. They finally spot Bella and rush towards her. Jonah then gets a text from Walker asking him and Lena to join them on their date that night. Lena asks Bella, and from her tone, Jonah feels like they need to attend the date with their friends. Lena and Jonah have joined Ava and Walker on their date to watch a horror movie in the park. Walker admits that when he found out Ava likes horror movies like him, he knew they had to do it. They are happy Jonah and Lena have joined them. Lena is scared, so she slightly covers her face with gaps in her fingers as the movie starts, since she wants to know what happens too. Jonah asks why she agreed to watch if she's scared, and Lena admits she is only doing this for Ava, since she has been such a good friend to her. Lena doesn't understand why people willingly watch horror, and Jonah admits he would much rather watch comedy or musicals. Lena is annoyed as she admits she loves musicals, because she doesn't want to have anything in common with Jonah, since they can't be friends. When there's another jump scare, Lena falls on Jonah and apologizes. Kismet Cafe is about to shut down, and it's their last week in service. All their loyal customers come to get some coffee beans and share last-minute wishes with Lena. They are excited to know what Lena has planned next, and wish her luck. When people have left, Ava brings coffee for Lena, and admits she will miss the place a lot. Lena is unsure of what she'll do next, but feels like this is the push she needs to focus on baking. Ava also admits that after discussing it with Walker, she has decided to get a degree in communications, since he thinks she would be great at sales. Ava admits she is smitten by Walker, and hopes that all four of them can hang out again. Lena feels things with Jonah are awkward, and even if she enjoys spending time with him, she can't forget that he's the reason her life is turning upside down. Ava admits that things are complicated, but wants Lena to focus on the bright side. Jonah walks up to Kismet Cafe and knocks on their closed doors. Ava is excited to see him, and hugs him. Lena comes over to talk to him, and Jonah explains that when he saw it was closing night, he wanted to come and help out. Lena assures him she is fine. He also gives her daffodils, since he remembers them as her favorite flowers. Jonah also nervously admits he stopped by since he was hoping he and Lena could finally be friends, even if it seems impossible. This brings Lena back to reality, and she feels there's no reason for Jonah to stay, but he insists on helping them out anyway. Ava notices Jonah working hard with the mop, and reminds Lena that he is putting in a lot of effort. Lena suggests Ava can leave if she wants, since most of the work is done. Ava, though, doesn't trust her not to be rude to Jonah. Lena assures her she will be fine. Jonah and Lena get to talking, and when he asks if she's going to cry, she admits she is excited about her new path, and does not exactly cry much. The last time she cried was watching a commercial where a little boy kept throwing paper planes over his fence, in the hope they would reach his father in the military overseas. His neighbor starts collecting the planes to send the box to his father, who replies back with more paper planes. Lena is surprised, since this story is making Jonah cry too, but he insists it is only because the story is beautiful, and he's willing to buy whatever they're selling in the commercial. A song starts playing, which Lena loves, and Jonah feels like she won't be able to stop him from dancing. He awkwardly dances with the mop in a way that seems like he's having fun, making Lena laugh. When it's late, Jonah nervously asks her for a dance, and after hesitating, Lena agrees to dance with him. They are happy to be with each other, till Lena remembers this is the first and last time she's dancing in her own shop. Jonah hopes it's not the last time she's dancing with him, which creates a vibe between them, and they lean in. But Lena immediately pulls away, insisting they should get back to work. She's not yet ready to let herself become vulnerable with the man who shattered her dreams. Walker and Ava toast to each other on their date, and Walker asks if they can make their relationship official. Ava admits there's one thing she needs to come clean about before they start their relationship. She confesses that Walker was actually texting with Lena on the app, since she personally doesn't know how to handle the messaging stuff. This makes Walker laugh really hard, as he realizes what happened, and admits that Jonah wrote his messages too. They finally know Lena and Jonah were falling for each other through their messages, and Ava starts getting an idea, which she wants Walker to be a part of. Lena is baking when Ava comes in and compliments her on the smell. Ava informs her that she has made it official with Walker, and also found out something new. Ava reveals that Walker's friend was writing messages for him all along from the app, and is excited that neither of them ever wrote any messages. Ava doesn't reveal the identity of the friend, but insists Lena should go on a blind date with him, since there are no pictures available. Since Lena hit it off with him, she agrees to come with Walker and Ava on a double date. Jonah helps Lena with the boxes, and Lena finally gets a good look at her shop before she closes it down forever. Jonah tries to apologize, but Lena feels she might have some exciting opportunities ahead of her. Jonah takes her for a milkshake to cheer her up, and asks about her future plans. Lena cares about the community, and also wants to get into the local market by distributing her baked goods to coffee shops. Jonah admits he is still thinking about the scone he had, and wants her to make sure her talent gets recognized. Jonah suggests that he can talk to the Vic about her hosting some game and talent nights there, to bring the community together and offer her desserts. He feels like they can just provide her the platform, and when her desserts start selling, they can sell it at other Vics too. Lena questions making a pact with the enemy, but Jonah insists she will be spreading happiness and doing what she loves. Lena hates how much she loves this idea, and thanks Jonah for taking a chance on her. Jonah is disappointed to hear Lena has a date that night, and wishes they had met through Ava and Walker, and not through competitive businesses. Lena finally admits that Jonah has done too much for her, by giving her good advice for game night, bringing her flowers, helping her move, and offering a business opportunity. Jonah confesses that he wishes he was going on that date with her, but they both agree it was probably not meant to be. Ava is helping Lena pick dresses for her blind date, but Lena is not too excited. Lena admits that Jonah asked her out, and a part of her wanted to say yes. She feels that between all the energy she has put into holding Jonah responsible for what happened to her, she forgot to see what a great guy he is. She finally comes out in a perfect dress, and admits that since it's not meant to be with Jonah, she's letting it go. Walker calls Jonah up and asks him to meet at the new food truck, Veggie Voodoo, for dinner. Lena reaches the food truck and looks around for her mystery date. She spots Jonah coming, and asks what he is doing there. She admits she has never seen the guy, so Jonah offers to wait with her till her date turns up. Lena finally reveals that she had been texting with Walker's friend on the app all along and hit it off with him, so she is there to meet him. Jonah can't help but smile, as he realizes it was Lena all along, and finally admits he is the mystery man. Lena thinks he is joking, but it soon becomes clear he's telling the truth. Lena and Jonah are thrilled at this twist of fate, and finally kiss each other. Ava and Walker look on, very proud that they got them together.